Boom! This one's interesting because I see something here I've never seen before. All right. We are in a grocery store in Latin America. We've got, looks like police, one of their types of police. A lot of these countries have multiple different police units that do different functions. This guy looks like he's in pretty good shape. Maybe a store owner or employee out front with him, standing guard. You know, big dude walking up, big dude, boom, grabs him, bear hug. Not necessarily violent, and now they introduce a gun. A struggle ensues. Another huge note here is that you need to understand how many there are. How many of them are there? In comes another guy, calm, walking, not too worried about the gun. Looks like hands. Decides to walk out. Okay, he's not with them. Start pistol whipping. We've already got one who's already in the store. And it looks like our officer may have been shot on the way out. Boom! What's going on, you guys? Byron, Rodgers, Tactical Protection Review. Learn protection strategies from a protection professional. Before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the bell on Instagram or on YouTube. Don't miss one of these protection reviews. We go over strategies to help you live a safer pattern of life, right? So protection is not all about the dojo and the range. It's also about the decisions you're making as you're navigating in the world, your software, right? So this video was interesting to me. Let's jump into it because I saw something here I don't usually see. You know, I don't see this very often. This new approach, this bear hug approach, right? There's a few huge takeaways here, okay? Officer standing in front of the store doing his things isn't necessarily wrong. I'd like to have my back up against a wall or something where no one can walk up behind me. But you know what? Fine. We're sitting here. He's kind of doing that. Sees a dude who's bigger than him. Identifies that guy's bigger than him. It isn't wrong to be profiling and taking information in on what you see. Dude who's bigger than you, you need to pay attention to, right? So, boom, he's paying attention to that dude. Dude looks like he's making a beeline for him. He has his hands crossed. This is a position, your hands crossed, is a position where you're protecting yourself, you're protecting your organs, but most importantly, your hands are locked up unless you cheat and do certain things that are done that I've been taught to actually allow you to get your hands where you want, so you can then draw a gun or do different things, and it's almost like cheating into a position, right? Having your hands up here in this space is actually not bad. It's actually good to kind of talk with your hands, keep your hands between somebody, you know, surrender position, boom, right? Here we are. You want to be able to use your hands and have them up, but just make sure you're not locking yourself in and locking your hands down. This leads to our good guy being a little bit behind the power curve. When big dude decides to give him a bear hug, boom, his arms are locked in. He's still able to drop his hips and create some distance and get his hands out. But as you're trying to, it's very difficult because as you're trying to figure out what's going on, the dude doesn't necessarily seem violent right here. You can see by the way they're moving, it doesn't seem like he's necessarily being very aggressive. It's like, okay, what are you doing? They're kind of walking backwards, especially if you train in martial arts and you can feel the intensity in that guy's body, you know, you're kind of like, okay, like this isn't weird to me. I'm not panicking right now. Like, what are you doing? I don't have to hurt you yet. Those are the thoughts that could be going through your head in a situation like this. And it's not until you see the guy with the gun that you realize, oh my gosh, I am actually in a life-threatening or an armed robbery type situation. Now the struggle begins. And the big guy takes his weapon from him. Remember, if you have a weapon, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not above violence, you're not above anything bad happens. It means you have a weapon, which means any physical altercation you find yourself in is now a life-threatening physical altercation. That's what it really means. Like 90% of people carrying a gun are carrying a gun for me, you know? So like that's you know, 90% of people carrying a gun could be carrying it for someone else who's stronger and more formidable and smarter and faster and more tactical than they are. So keep that in mind. Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you're safe. It's the software running the person. It's the software running the hardware that really matters, right? And it doesn't even come down to size. If you know yourself and you know your size and you know your capabilities, you're smart enough not even to get it within arm's length. If you keep your distance, you know you need to implement your weapon sooner, right? Personal protection is about the person. Self-defense is about the self, right? So now these guys are struggling. I got my man standing here, just watching the show. Looks like one good guy, one innocent bystander. This other bystander, I don't know if he's got ice in his veins, but my man here in the green shirt dude, he just walks in and peeps game and checks everything out. I almost thought he was with them the first time I watched the video. Looks like he might have something in his back pocket. And then he's like, nah, decides to walk off. Now our good guy's getting pistol whipped, and there's 3 guys. But what this means is that one of the bad guys already walked in. So never assume that you're just dealing with the 2 you're dealing with. This is the reason for certain things that people do to make sure you keep your awareness about you when you're in these situations. Even if you do end one enemy, you don't know who is around you, so you've always got to have your head on a swivel. This is much more like an insurgency than it is a formal military, right? So no one's wearing uniforms is what I mean to say. So now we're looking at the exit. These guys have overpowered him. The security guard or the police officer actually does enough of his job to get them to leave. It's very crucial here, in my opinion, that why do we use violence? You know, this is something I took from PFC. PFC that I did an awesome EP course with a few months ago. Why do we use violence? We use the tool of violence to change behavior. Behavior's changed. They're leaving. They are now running out of the store. That behavior's changed. They have your gun. Hey, they have your gun, but they're leaving. That behavior's changed. That's where you stop the attack. No more need for violence. The behavior has changed. Live to fight another day. I hope that our officer in this situation was okay. Hey, these are just considerations for you guys to live safer and live a safer pattern of life. It's about the mindware. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you don't miss a single video on IG or on YouTube or whatever channel you're watching me on. And let's make this world a safer place by helping good people become more dangerous. If you haven't, go and download our free training guide. Watch the Protector Symposiums from the comfort of your own home and get smarter at the art of protection. I'll see you on the next piece of content. This is Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade. Out. Boom.